This must be on the way from the Falklands to the Magellan Strait.
The Magellan Strait itself would never be this calm, presumably.
Yes, the Magellan Strait is quite calm. It's only around the end of the Horn that it gets. You see, we're taking good seas over there, and here we are in the Magellan Strait and the Patagonian channels, a really gloomy part of the world.
Did you have any sense of approaching war at this time?
We'd had the Munich crisis. We were up off the mouth of the River Plate at that time, at Punta del Este. So we'd had that panic. Oh yes, I mean we were very much preparing for it all this time.
Which ship is this?
This is Ajax in the Patagonian channels.
You've come ashore?
We've come ashore for a walk, yes. We spent 3 days getting through.
Is that you?
No, that's another officer, a sub-lieutenant called Hemans. This is in Chile. Now, this is South Chile, and went up for a few days' leave up in the mountains. And the lakes of South Chile. We spent Christmas at Puerto Montt. It was really Christmas leave.
What was your favourite pastime when you came ashore?
Well, if there were horses to be had, one liked to ride. And in South America there usually were.
This looks like a girl from the German community.
Quite likely, because these are ferry boats going across the lakes, and all the ferry stations were controlled by Germans. That's the reputation he had, I don't know if it was true. This is Mount Osorno.
Back to black and white film.
We're at black and white, yes we are indeed. And I think I'm right in saying this is Iquique, way up in the north of Chile. Yes. And a very different countryside, pure desert. Oh, now we seem to be doing some more surfing. I can't place where this was. This I do recall. This was a place, I think it was called Chimbote, up on that west coast of Chile, and we were trying to pull in a fishing net. This was a recreational picnic party.
Portuguese men of war, or?
I don't know quite what those things are, what they call them. They're some foul, shark-like.
Could all the officers
That's,
swim at that time?
Holmes. That's George Deacon.
Pulling the
You've
net?
met him, have you? Yes, you have.
Could all the officers swim at this time?
Oh, yes. Yes, and of course those of the ship's company as well. I mean, that's everybody on that that expedition. Here's once again recreation on board. Keeping exercised on board and entertained was a bit of a problem out there. You had spent a long time without much diversion ashore.
Who was smoking the cigarette?
Well, that's George Deacon, actually. He was my assistant, the navigator's assistant. Yes. Now, this is entering the Panama Canal, going through the canal.
Was this the first time you had been through the canal?
Oh, it's the only time, yes. Yes. The only time I've been through it.
As you travelled around the coast of South America, were you aware of differences between the different countries, their political
Well, I didn't come into contact with politics much, hardly at all.
For example, at the time of the Munich crisis, when you were outside Uruguay?
Well, it was noticeable that Uruguay was more friendly than the Argentine in that particular case, but the British community we came across in Buenos Aires, of course, they were, there was no question of their loyalty. Although the Argentine sympathies were rather on the other side.
How were you aware of this? Through meeting people or by seeing
more
reports?
Reports. More than that, yeah, more reports. One didn't get involved in politics at all.
Did you ever come across German cruisers, any of the German light cruisers which were touring at this time?
No. No, none at all.
As a navigating officer, did you have a special responsibility when you went through the canal?
Yes, I had to be up there all the time, although we have a canal pilot. You have to. And it's needed too, because he has to control all these mules, as they call them. So now we've got the other side. This must be somewhere in the West Indies, I think probably Jamaica.
Did you visit Mexico on this trip?
No, we didn't.
Was this because
This
Mexico was
is-
unsettled at this time?
Oh, I don't think so. It just wasn't. It wasn't on our. It was never on one of our cruises. I think probably other ships went there. This is Curacao, the Dutch West Indies.
With the distinctive Dutch architecture.
Well, it is rather, yes. Well, there's the Dutch flag. Very narrow entrance, I remember. You get into a huge bay behind. This is the capital of Curacao. I think it's called Willemstad, isn't it? Now we've got across to Trinidad. This is the approaches to Trinidad. And one goes through between islands.
With the Sea Fox.
And that is the Sea Fox, yes. Going for reconnaissance ahead of us.
Carrying out reconnaissance?
Well, no, really, an exercise flight, no more than that. The pilots have to keep their hands in. They have to do a certain number of flying hours. Oh, these are Trinidad school children coming to be shown over the ship. We don't see much of that. Now this is probably of more interest to you. These are manoeuvres when we had the whole squadron together. The North American squadron and the South American squadron met in the Caribbean there. This is York. That's the cruiser York, and beyond must be Achilles, I think, or it could have been Iran, and beyond that is Exeter. That's York.
And the single funnel vessel?
That would be Iran, I think it was. It was the same class as Zodiac. Now that is the Graf Spee burning, but that's the only picture I've got.
So were those manoeuvre sequences after war had been declared?
No. This has been edited in, and the sequences are very much out of order.
But this is the Graf Spee?
Yes, that's the Graf Spee burning. And that's the nearest we got, really. And this is after the action, when we went alongside. I think that was actually Montevideo, but it might have been Rio, it might have been Buenos Aires, or it might have been Rio. No, I'm pretty sure it's Uruguay, Montevideo.
When you came into...
Yes, came after, and there's the captain being interviewed by the press. Yes, this I think was Rio, actually, this one. The press came on board to interview the captain. And that's the ship's honours board, which the river plate has just been put on the bottom. Oh, this is a convoy in the South Atlantic. This is our walrus aircraft being catapulted, and here the ship is making a slick to smooth the sea out for the aircraft to land on. There it is landing on the calm water which is made by the ship turning. There it is going to hook on to the crane.
Which year are we?
This must be 39 or 40. No, 39, must be 39. And now this is a German ship, which we met on the first day of the war, the day after war was declared. I think it's probably the first German ship to have been sunk during the war. We were looking out for German shipping off the coast of South America, and that is the one we captured on the first day of the war.
How was she sunk?
Oh, by gunfire. After taking the crew off, you'll see that cutter was going to fetch the crew. This is just exercises on board.
We are still on Ajax in the South Atlantic.
Yes, yes, you can see that by the way people are dressed. The South Atlantic and not up north yet. Now we got up to Iceland. This is patrolling in the Denmark Strait. Those are simply aircraft trails. They were not so common in those days as they are now.
Allied aircraft, presumably.
Yes, ours. I think. Now this must be the entrance to Valfjord, because there's a tag there, I see. This is the ice edge.
This was during the period of the Russian convoys.
Oh yes, yes, it was patrolling well, our job was to patrol the Denmark Strait to stop any German ships coming out. There it is. Here is the ship after a blizzard, or everything is iced up, you see. You can see the ice on the guns now. A bit has been chipped off on the muzzle. And here we are amongst the ice again. Small ice. This is new ice forming. That's the ship's crest, iced up. And there are the guardrails, covered with ice. And that's a seaboat. That's another cruiser, but I don't know which. Oh, here we are off the coast of Iceland again. It's a very spectacular coast.